Hey guys, how are we? Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I am so excited but also so nervous, so please bear with me. And if you do like this video, please hit that subscribe button and please let me know what you think underneath. So some of you might know me as Liz.bitesback from my Instagram, and I basically help people all around the world to achieve health and fitness goals in a sustainable way. The reason I do that is because I actually used to struggle with an eating disorder. I have tried all the quick fixes, all the diets, literally you name it, I have tried it, and I basically want to help as many people as I can get to where they want to be. So I thought, what a perfect way to start off my YouTube channel than tell you guys a little bit more about me, my own struggles, and my transformation and how I did it. Right, I am very nervous now. I don't know why I'm getting so nervous. I think I'm very open about my fitness journey and my struggles on my Instagram, but that's over like message, like over text. And yeah, obviously this is me speaking about my own journey. Oh my God, right. I don't want to get emotional, but if there are some tears, then please bear with me, but I will try my best to keep it together. So to give you a little bit of background, I have struggled with my relationship with food for a very long time. I was 14 when I first got diagnosed with an eating disorder, and that eating disorder was anorexia. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's basically when you are severely restricting your food intake, and that obviously then causes a lot of weight loss. So I was about 14 years old when this happened, and then I got some professional help. It didn't really work that well just because they never told me about how to actually live my life. They basically tried to help me figure out the reason for that and help me kind of understand where maybe this came from. And it was, I think, from my nan passing away, but then after that, I didn't have any coping mechanisms. So as soon as I got back out in the real world, I've tried all the detox teas and everything. I've literally tried every single diet under the sun, unfortunately. And I can tell you now, if you're on one, they will not work because it's not sustainable. And then, unfortunately, because I never truly healed my relationship with food, in around end of 2019, I unfortunately went back to kind of my old ways. So 2019 hit, and unfortunately I started going down the same path as I was going down when I was 14 years old. I started massively restricting my food intake again. I was eating under 1,000 calories most days. I'm not going to go into details, so I don't want it to be triggering. I was obsessed with the scales. I'd be going to the gym. I would weigh myself before, after the gym. Any point I would see scales, like I would purposely sometimes go into the gym on the way back from uni just to go and weigh myself, just to see whether I put on weight. Like, I was obsessed with getting thinner. And I was so obsessed with getting skinny that I didn't realise what I was doing to my body. My hair was falling out. I'll put a picture up here or here. My hair was falling out, and like I was so kind of secluding myself. I was at university. It was meant to be kind of the highlight of my years and like meant to be the best years of my life, and don't get me wrong, some of it was amazing, but I turned down so many social events in this kind of period. I wasn't going out to eating. It was affecting my relationship with my boyfriend and myself, because obviously if you're not feeling confident in yourself, it's very hard to, just like open up, feel confident, feel sexy. Like that just wasn't there for me, and I just felt so kind of lost in myself, but so naive about the whole situation. I didn't realise that I was struggling again until my boyfriend actually pulled me aside and was like, Lizzie, are you alright? Like, your hair is falling out. And then obviously everyone started noticing I wasn't eating as much, and then I ended up losing a lot of weight. And then that's when, yeah, I just kind of realised, right, I need to start changing. But I was still in a denial a little bit until I went to the doctors. So I went to the doctors, and I basically got told if I do not change, then I'd be in serious trouble. And to me, I feel like this was the kind of wake-up call that I needed. I had my heart checked. My heart rate was like severely like low. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but it was basically, if I don't sort myself out, I probably wouldn't have been here today. And I think that for me, if I didn't change then, when would I have done it? Like, it was basically, you continue the way you're doing it and you end up maybe not here in a few years' time, or you would change. And change for me was absolutely terrifying. Like I said, I was obsessed with being skinny. Anything that would make me suddenly put on weight was a no-go. That was bad. Anything like just going back to where I was before, that was bad. But I realised I had to do it. So when 2020 hit, start of 2020, I decided, right, enough is enough. And I finally need to improve my relationship with food, get stronger, and focus on becoming healthier and shift my mindset away from skinny is the best to actually, you know what, your healthiest and strongest and happiest self is the best. So as it was 2020, if you guys remember that it was the start of the pandemic, and that was basically Corona, lockdown started happening, and lockdown saved me. And I know that must sound so backwards to say, but lockdown truly saved me. I really don't think I would have made as much progress if lockdown didn't happen. I was forced to face my problems front on. I was forced, there was no distractions. I wasn't at uni. I didn't have a job or anything. I was literally at home, forced to face my problems. And I could have gone two ways. I could have just given up at that point, but I decided to keep on fighting. So lockdown started. I was staying at my boyfriend's house for the start of it, and from there I basically started to increase my food intake. So with increasing food intake, it can be really, really overwhelming. I was so nervous of increasing food intake and scared in case I put on weight. However, the best way to do it if you're wanting to build muscle and get stronger, like I wanted to do, and so it's not so overwhelming, is build it up slowly. Building your food intake up slowly allows your body to have time to kind of adjust, and it also means as well that you're kind of mentally adjusting to the situation rather than just suddenly eating 1,000 more calories. Slowly building up my intake over time allowed me to just not only feel good within myself and just kind of adjust to the situation, but also allow me to see the benefits as well, because slowly I'll be like, oh, I've got a little bit more energy, or I'm feeling a little bit stronger, or I'm having better sleep, or my sex drive is getting better, all those words like that. Doing it slowly really, really helped me to kind of accept the situation and just not for it to not feel too overwhelming. The other thing that really, really helped in terms of kind of building muscle and getting stronger was making sure that I was hitting my protein goal. This allowed me to really focus on fueling my body rather than kind of restricting, because I knew if I wanted to get stronger with my workouts, then I'll need to make sure I'm having enough fuel, but also enough protein as well, because when you're working out, you basically tear those muscle fibers, and in order for it to repair, you need those kind of amino acids from protein to basically, as the building blocks to kind of repair your muscles there. So I was really kind of hot on making sure I hit my protein intake, and then obviously that meant that I was eating more as well. So if you're looking to build muscle, get stronger, please make sure that you are really focused on hitting that high protein intake as well. But don't forget to not have the other kind of main macronutrients as well. So we also need to make sure that you have enough carbohydrates and enough fats as well. So carbohydrates are our main source of energy for our body, and then also fats is a really, really good way to help with kind of hormone production and regulation as well. The key turning point for me when it came to wanting to focus on getting stronger rather than focus on getting my skinniest version of myself was ditching the scale. Girl, you are worth so much more than a number. It upsets me so much. I see so many people message me oh, Lizzie, I've weighed myself, I've gained 3 pounds, or Lizzie, I've dropped 3 pounds, amazing. That's great in terms of direction, but it's not a be all or end all. You could gain 3 pounds of muscle, lose 3 pounds of fat, and your weight would stay the exact same. Please, please, please do not be a slave to the scales. If you're someone who weighs himself all the time, like I used to, this is your sign to just chuck them out. I chucked out the scales and it was the best thing ever. The only time I'll ever know my true weight now is if I get weighed at the doctors, or just the doctors. I don't have scales in my house, so literally just the doctors. So please focus on how you're feeling, how you're thinking, progress pictures, because that is such a true representation of how you're actually doing rather than the kind of the scale weight. As soon as I got rid of the scales, no lie, my mindset around myself, my body, exercise leveled up. That was literally game changing for me. So if you are a slave to the scales, please, please, please get rid of them, because you will see such a big difference, and then you'll start focusing on the enjoyment, how you're feeling, how you're thinking, how you're looking, rather than just that number on the scales. In terms of workouts, I really wanted to focus on getting stronger. So in order to kind of get away from that mindset of going to the gym and just running on a treadmill like I said I used to do, I decided to get rid of my Fitbit. This was literally key to improve my relationship with food, exercise, and focusing on getting my strongest version of myself rather than my skinniest version of myself. Fitbits are great in terms of direction for some people, making sure you're hitting steps if you're like on a fat loss goal, or seeing what your heart rate is if you're wanting to focus on your cardiovascular health. But if you're using it the wrong ways, which I was, then take off that Fitbit, take off that Apple Watch, because it is doing you no good. If you're getting obsessive over it, there's no point having it. But you want to use things like that as a tool and not something to dictate your life by. So I used to be that person and be like, oh, if I haven't hit 300 calories, then a workout's really bad. Whereas now, and then as well, as I was improving, I started to focus on getting stronger. Okay, how much weight can I lift? How much stronger can I get? What can I get what can I get this time that I didn't get last time? So say for example, I got 4 kg last week on a squat, can I get 5 kg the next week? And over time, that allowed me to really focus on getting stronger as well. So I really recommend following a workout plan. I actually made my workout plan myself at that point, but I probably should have followed a workout plan. And then as I started to kind of improve my relationship with food and stuff, I actually did a personal training course, so that allowed me to just really focus on progressing with my workouts as well, making sure we have all the optimal exercises in there. So what I would recommend if you're trying to structure your own workout plan is making sure you've got enough compound exercise in there, so enough squats, deadlifts, exercise like that, ones that use more than one muscle group, and then also some isolated exercises. So isolated exercises are exercises that use more than isolated exercise that just use one muscle group. So things like bicep curls, things like hamstring curls, those exercises allow you to really isolate the muscles, and we really want a combination of the two in your workouts as well. You have to make sure you are tracking your reps. You really, really, really need to make sure you're tracking your reps, because otherwise you can't push yourself, and then you won't be able to put your body under stress, and then you won't be able to tear those muscle fibers. Like I said before, you need to tear those muscle fibers in order for your body to then come repair and grow. So now it's 2022, nearly 2023, and I've gained all this weight. I'm feeling my strongest, healthiest self, which is amazing, and my relationship with food is literally the best it's ever been. And that is because I decided to make that change. Remember at the start of the video when I was like, you know what, I could continue going down that same path, or I can decide to challenge it. And it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I'm sorry if this video has come across thinking it was really easy, because there were really some tough times. And there were some times where my workouts weren't as good, or sometimes there were days when I weren't feeling hungry. But I pushed through it because I knew that I wanted to get to this kind of happiest, healthiest self. You're not always going to feel motivated. You're not always going to want to get up and keep pushing for your goals. There's going to be those kind of hurdles, but it's how you respond to those hurdles which is the most important thing. So if you're going through your fitness journey right now, if you're focusing on wanting to get to where you want to be, get stronger, and you're struggling, maybe you've had a bad week, remember this feeling won't last forever, and what is waiting for you is so, so amazing, okay? I cannot explain to you how free I feel now I put that time in to, like, for myself. I can't explain to you how amazing it's gonna feel for you when you finally get to this place where you're feeling stronger, happier, healthier. It truly is life-changing. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section below. Or if you have any feedback, obviously it's my first YouTube video, so any feedback is welcome. Or if there's any topics that you want me to cover going forward, then please let me know as well. I'll also be sharing loads of food and fitness content, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the team. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you getting to the end of this. And yeah, I hope you all have the most amazing week.